I hate to say I told you so, but for the private who defected into North Korea willingly, I don't think we're going to be seeing him soon for multiple reasons. In fact, the US military is a little worried on the dollar amount North Korea might want for Private King. Also, the fact that they can hardly even get in contact with North Korea. Also, what's interesting in this video, and we're going to go through all of this, Private King's family actually spoke out and talked about the true character of Private King. So let's go ahead and check out what they had to say. Now, real quick, Private King got arrested in South Korea for punching a South Korean in the face. He destroyed a South Korean cop car. He slandered the South Korean military, etc. So he doesn't have the best track record. Now, I'm going to say this. A lot of people have been trashing his family and saying, well, of course they're going to say good things about him. What you have to realize, and I was a former soldier, ask any soldier out there, the families don't know exactly who the real you is when you're in uniform. When you're in uniform, you can be sort of a different person. And for anyone who got out of the military, including myself, it takes a long time to get away from that military mentality. Now, King was a Cav Scout, and before a lot of you hate on that, Cav Scouts are fighters, okay? They're known to be fighters, they're reconnaissance, so naturally, he's probably going to defend himself or fight for himself. I'm not here sticking up for King, but I'm just saying the family is sticking up for him, and I don't think we should be trashing them. They only know what they know, so let's not hate on them, but let's see what they had to say.
I think something wrong with him, he ain't thinking clear. I don't think he was just ran out there like that. I can't see that. And my daughter said the same thing too. She said, that don't seem like my son, the way he came up and this and that,
And they're obviously referring to him running into North Korea.
Well, I would like to see him come back and they get him some medical help. I think medical help, maybe the army just messed his head up. That's for me to say. His mama probably said the same thing.
Now, again, I am not here sticking up for King. I leave that up to you guys. I'm just reporting the facts. Again, this is somebody who punched somebody in the face and so on. And so he sort of had a track record of this violence. This is not a new thing. It's been about a year before this incident happened where Travis King ran into North Korea. Again, I will leave it up to you guys, but what I am saying is the family is quite shocked of this behavior, and I do think we should look into the fact that if the family's a little shocked, they know the real him outside of uniform.
Because he never acted like that.
I don't understand why he would do that, because it seemed like he was on his way back here to the United States. He was on his way home, so it don't make no sense to me. Something just got to be going on in his head to make him feel like he need to stay there or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know what to think about it. From my knowledge, I just heard that.
So obviously the family is saying there might be some sort of emotional issue or mental issue. Look, if I'm going to be honest with you, I've seen some pretty freaky stuff that I will never say on camera that some people will do to get out of training, to get out of deployments. And for some of you who served in the U.S. military, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, oh no, I got a car ran over my foot. Or oh no, I've contracted the worst virus ever and I'm bedridden. I can't, stuff like that happens. If you dig deep enough in the internet on some army forums, you'll know what I'm talking about.
He, I guess, got into a fight with some Koreans. And it's kind of hard, believing that too. Like somebody had to push him to do that because he's not a violent type of person. He's really laid back. He's quiet. I know he's in a real bad place, a bad situation, and I'm hoping that they let him come home.
Okay, so that was the grandfather and the uncle. And again, from their perspective, they're just quite shocked. And again, I want to say this. I'm trying to be as objective as possible. In uniform, you tend to be a way different person. If any family members watching this video, outside of uniform, you're a different kind of person. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, I hate to say I told you so, but when all of this information was coming out, I had mentioned, I don't know what the U.S. military is going to be able to pay for this private. Because in this highlighted portion, it says, U.S. officials are concerned about the price North Korea will demand in order to secure the safe return of a U.S. Army private who fled across the South Korean border into the nation last week. Check this out. Every U.S. soldier has a dollar amount allotted to them via insurance if you pass away. Let me explain. When I was a brand new private and we were signing for all of our new equipment, I remember asking my commander, hey, are you going to sign for me? Worst joke ever. And he's like, actually, yeah, I am. And guess what? You're actually worth a dollar amount to me. And at the time, and I swear I remember it being about $500,000, but when I was doing some research on this to try and verify my amount, I found on Quora this exact same scenario. In the USA, service members are highly encouraged to purchase a special life insurance plan called the S-GLI. The maximum coverage is currently $400,000, which means if unfortunately you pass away either during training or combat operations, that money goes to whoever you allotted it to. So some of it can go to your mom and dad, your brothers and sisters. In fact, I remember growing up, one of my close friends, his father passed away in the Iraq War, and he was given a large sum of money because of this. So it's actually can be quite life-changing for the unfortunate occurrence of your family member passing away. But nonetheless, here's what I mean by U.S. soldiers have a dollar amount allotted to them. Now, look, I'm not saying that North Korea has to stick between 100,000 and 400,000 and the U.S. military will be like, deal, we will make a trade. I'm almost even saying $5 million, we would probably still do the trade. But I'm just saying if North Korea is like $1 billion, that kid ain't coming home. I'm just being honest with you. Throughout all military operations, there's always an economic and monetary trade commanders have to make, even on the battlefield. Like if you're about to attack a certain objective, and we're even seeing this in Ukraine, you're not going to send all 1,000 tanks in one direction. We're going to go through every single minefield. It's like that in real life as well. Commanders have to make these tough decisions when it comes to the numbers, economic trade, stuff like that. Now, as far as the updated whereabouts as to what's happening with Travis, here is all we know. Check out this video.
Well, at this point, Neil, what we're doing is working very closely with our colleagues throughout the government, to include State Department, maintaining close contact with United Nations Command there in Korea, to gather information to determine the whereabouts of Private King. At this point, our top priority is his well-being and his safe return home. But you know, we're going to have to continue to look into this, to continue to gather information, and certainly we'll keep people updated on that front. I will say that.
Now, I just want to say this. A lot of people love to hate on the U.S. military, and look, I do at times also. But how great of a military is the U.S. military that they are willing to do whatever it takes to get a soldier back who punched South Koreans in the face, has a criminal record, destroyed a cop car, is just a private, nothing high up on the totem pole here. Yet they're doing whatever it takes to get him back. A lot of government resources are going into getting this private back, knowing what he did was wrong and knowing that he's a criminal in South Korea at least. And here's the crazy part. A lot of people are out there saying we don't want him back, but you guys are not realizing that Travis King is government property. And anyone who's in the U.S. military knows, look, we are humans, and the U.S. military does whatever it takes to treat us like humans, but we are government property, and the U.S. military will always get the most out of anybody, and they want their government property back. We want Travis King back. I'm not going to sit here and be like they're being cruel about the entire situation. Like the U.S. military is treating this like Travis King is not a human. They are treating him as a human. But at the end of the day, this is not a Hollywood love story. The U.S. military always gets their property back, and they will do whatever it takes to get Travis back. Now, last thing before I end this video, and I almost didn't even want to put this in here because I can't find any evidence of this being true, American soldier Travis King had shown signs of possibly defecting from the Army nearly a year ago before he fled into North Korean territory, telling military officials while serving in South Korea that he would not return to post or America. Now, again, I can't find any facts that verify or multiple sources that back this, so I'm not going to say this is true or not true. Nonetheless, again, the evidence that we do have is that Travis King does have a not so great past, not so great military service, because even just as a private, you can only do so much considering the time he was in. So again, what we do know is, though, that the U.S. military does want to get him back, and I do find that quite incredible that we're willing to do whatever it takes to get people back. Again, in the grand scheme of things, I've seen way worse people during prisoner swaps that the US government would do. And so it only makes sense that we would want to get Travis King back, because we can only imagine what is going to happen in North Korea for him. Anyway, that is the video. Make sure to leave your comments and opinions down below. I'm going to keep updating you guys as more facts and information comes in. I think this is a great way to talk geopolitics via North Korea and this entire situation. We're sort of getting an insight on how the US military does hostage negotiations and so on, and how far the US military is willing to go for a private who is a criminal within South Korea. Anyway, again, leave your comments and opinions down below. Love all you guys, and we'll see you later.